So the joys of being a parent is that I need to pack for my 7-year-old. Now I'm going to make a point not to pack for my 14-year-old. He's more than capable of packing his own suitcase. I probably will double check his suitcase, but I will be packing Harry's suitcase. So some of the things that I make a point to do as I collect clothes out of his wardrobe is to just identify all of the bits and pieces that I need. To save space, I suggest that you roll items. It's very Marie Kondo. It's very KonMari, where you're kind of ensuring that you're utilizing the space that you have. So I've got, t-shirts and bits and pieces that I'll be putting in place. They're all rolled up and ready to go, and I just make a point to keep certain things together. So when he looks in his suitcase, it's kind of similar to when he looks in his wardrobe. So we've got pajamas together, we've got t-shirts and all of that sort of stuff, which is nice and easy. So pants and other bits and pieces. Nice and easy, super easy to kind of keep everything in one place. And so part of his suitcase is predominantly day-to-day clothes, and then the second half of the suitcase will be other items that he needs. So we've got Harry's one side of his suitcase. Pretty much, there's still a lot of space in there, but because he doesn't have a lot of clothing and we keep things pretty minimal for him. So that's pretty much ready to go. I'm going to click that in and fold that over and just make space for the second half of the suitcase. Now, the other item that we all need, but he needs, is socks and undies. I've made a point to purchase some of these travel cubes. Haven't actually used them before, to be perfectly honest with you, but I felt that they would be a really good option to kind of keep things nice and neat. Now, I did get some really cheap ones online. I'm hoping they don't fall apart, but worst case scenario, it's not a big deal. Lots and lots and lots of undies. That is one of the things that I've made a point to do. He can re-wear t-shirts and shorts if we just don't happen to get to a place where we can do some washing. But to be honest, boys are gross, and they need to make sure that they have fresh undies. So we have heaps and heaps of undies and heaps and heaps of socks. Lots of sweaty, stinky feet, so lots and lots of socks. So they are all going in this little packing cube, which will keep them all together, which will just make things a bit easier as well, because he's only 7, he's got a really little bum. He doesn't have little feet, but he's got a little bum. So it means everything kind of stays in one place, nice and easy, and that will fit neatly in there, and he can keep all of his bits and pieces together, similar to how he has in his wardrobe with his clothes. Now this guy is like the most prized possession in Harry's room, or in Harry's life. I think he even told me the other day that he potentially loved his bunny more than he loved me. I'm gonna have to just deal with that. Now, if you do have little ones who have ever had a comforter, you know how stressful it is to make sure that you never lose these items. We made a point to have 3 of these. When I realized how attached he was as a baby, I made a point to get another one and then another one. So what I'm going to do is one of these is going to go in his suitcase. I'm going to put it in the zipped area. Hopefully he'll know exactly where it is. He'll probably actually have this with him in his carry-on, because he probably will sleep on the plane, but he'll know where this is. Now, the second one will be going in my suitcase, hidden away, so worst case scenario, if we happen to lose one, I'll have a spare. Now the third spare is going to stay here in Melbourne with us, in our home. So worst case scenario, if we happen to lose 2, we've still got a spare at home. But if you do have things that really comfort your children, especially when they're little, making the point to ensure that they're packed and they have a safe spot, and maybe having a backup is always a great idea. The other backup that I need to ensure that I have for Harry is he's super sensitive to sound. He sometimes will wear earmuffs to go to sleep at night. It's a bit weird. I don't even know how he sleeps in these because they're really chunky, but he doesn't like storms, he doesn't like loud noises and all that sort of stuff. So I'm actually going to pack these in his suitcase. He doesn't need them on the plane because he'll have noise cancelling headphones. I spoke about those earlier. They're just one of the things that we've made a point to invest in. So he'll have those, so he won't need these. But when we get to the hotel or whatever else, if he's feeling a bit overwhelmed and he kind of has that sensory overload, he can pop these on and be really, really comfortable again. So they are definitely going in the suitcase, and this guy is going in here. So he is ready to go. Now, I talked about looking after your mental health and journaling and making a point to reflect, and I make a point to encourage my kids to do the same thing, even Harry. So we've just got this notebook, it's just a plain notebook, it's nothing too special, and he draws in this and he writes in this. And so when I was talking him through what are the things that he really wants to take, I encouraged him to make sure that he had some toys and a book that we could read together. So he's got this, it's kind of the first style of novel, moving away from picture books that he's got, and he's got his journal so he can write the things he's grateful for, he can draw pictures, he can write down memories, and that's a really nice way of also reducing his screen time when he needs that. So they are going to go in this gift area, which is nice and easy as well. Now, speaking of toys, we had to kind of go through and work out who are we going to take on this adventure. So he has a lot of toys, so we I said bring 6, he got me to 8. So I said bring 4 and he got me to 6. So we have 6 of these guys that we're bringing. We've made sure we've balanced out genders, so we have some females in the team, in the squad, but they are all going in here as well. I'm not too concerned about these coming overseas with us because the reality is I can replace them, but he's been able to choose what he wants, and then if we go somewhere and he needs something to play with, he's always got his toys with him. Now, I do have this lovely space here, and what will be filled with this space is shoes. So Harry grows super fast, so we don't often have a load of shoes that he has. He's currently wearing a pair and he has a spare pair, and the other pair of shoes that I will be grabbing for him are just these thongs to wear around the pool and that sort of stuff. So he'll have a spare, the ones on his feet, and a pair of thongs. Now, the last bit of space that I have here, I'm going to be really conscious of how I utilise it. So I've made a point to purchase these space bags. So they are like your traditional space bags, but what's great about these is you don't need a vacuum to suck out the air. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put any big jackets. So we've got some puffer jackets and some jumpers and things. He doesn't need a lot of that stuff. We happen to be going somewhere really warm, but I know that in the evenings it can get quite cool, so making a point to pop these in, it's a bit noisy, and then squish these down and make a point to fit that all in. And then we've still got plenty of space here. His suitcase has an extender piece in it, so it's actually not extended at the moment, and there's still plenty of room. So we can, if he thinks of something else that he needs, I can pop it in here and we are all sorted and ready to go. So when packing for yourself, making a point to look at what's happening in your wardrobe and planning each kind of area of what you need in your suitcase. So for me, I have my drawers set up quite specifically. So as I choose the items that I need, I'm literally going to go drawer by drawer. I'm going to pull out these drawers, which is fantastic because then I can pull everything out, assess what I really want to take, and then throw that into a washing basket, which I can take into the lounge room. I've got more space to pack, I can roll things up properly, and I can identify the things that I need. Same with the items in the hanging part of my wardrobe. So I've got things that I wear kind of every day. There's a lot of corporate business stuff here, which I don't plan to wear a lot on holidays. I hope that I'm going to be sitting by the pool a lot of the time, which would be great. So making a point to kind of assess what's in here, and a lot of this stuff will probably stay, but there might be a few bits and pieces that I want to take with me as well. So taking them out, popping them in the laundry basket, rolling them up to condense that space, and making sure that I've kind of ticked off every area of my wardrobe that I would usually use. So when it comes to choosing shoes, I don't know about you, but in the past I have always packed too many pairs, or I've packed like the wrong pairs of shoes. So really have a think about the shoes that you love to wear. Now, I have worn these to death. I've actually just recently gone and purchased another pair of them that are brand new in the box in my wardrobe, because I know once these die I'm gonna get really upset. A really good pair of sneakers. Now, I actually wear these to the gym but I know that they give me really good support. They kind of, like, they're black and white, they're nice and simple. I can probably wear them with a range of things, and I know that I'll be able to wear those as well. So I've decided to actually have 6 pairs of shoes that I'm going to have with me. So it's a combination of these runners, a pair of casual sneakers as well, that are not that comfortable, but they look much nicer with jeans or whatever else. Some thongs because I plan to be swimming, and just 1 set of heels. Now that's obviously consistent with the style of trip that I'm about to take. I don't plan to have a lot of dinners and galas or anything that I need to attend. We might have a few dinners with my husband, but that's about it. So making a point to really assess, what am I going to be doing, and do I need my stilettos? No, I don't. So don't pack the stilettos because you probably won't use them and they're just taking up room. Now, if you don't pack the stilettos, that means you've got space in your suitcase to buy some if you do end up going shopping as well. So leaving that extra room as well if you need to have a little bit of space for an unexpected shopping trip.